But then the other team to me is actually the Giants, which you brought up. I think that they're going to be pretty desperate to go up and get one of these quarterbacks. I think they're going to give a pretty competitive deal to move to either 4. Well, they're going to talk to the Patriots at 3, but I think they're going to give a pretty competitive deal for 3, 4, or 5 whenever a quarterback is still on the board, because I think they desperately want to upgrade. I really do believe that. They, of course, can offer one of those teams something that the Vikings cannot, and that is a pick in the top 6. And that is a heavy value for the Cardinals specifically, who would like to get out of this draft with a wide receiver 1. So if you don't move all the way back to 11, Malik Neighbors is still in play. Rome Odunze is still in play. And you're getting some extra draft capital.
The New York Giants have actually had a very underrated offseason thus far, bringing in day one starters all across the board in John Runyon, Aaron Stinney, Jermaine Illuminor, Devin Singletary, but also bringing in some big pieces defensively and a starting defensive edge in Brian Burns, Jordan Phillips, a former Buffalo Bill, Jalen Mills, a very versatile DB, but they have done a very good job so far. However, they're in a very interesting position heading into this year's NFL draft. But the biggest question mark that, nobody can really speculate on is who they're going to take. Is it going to be a quarterback? Is it going to be the second best skill position player at number 6? Or do they actually make a move to number 3, number 4, even number 5? Do they trade up just a little bit to, get themselves one of the top 4 quarterbacks in this year's NFL draft? But with that being said, I believe the Giants are in a really good position because the doors are open, the windows are open. They can do multiple different things, either trade up, trade back, stay patient. They can do anything they want to do right now. And I think there's a lot of speculation on them really wanting that number 1 quarterback, drafting a guy behind Daniel Jones and seeing how it works, right? But at the same time, I feel like the Giants and the GM are very okay with having to take maybe the second best position player in this year's NFL draft, and that's okay as well. But in this video, we're going to break down everything you need to know about the Giants offseason so far, what they've done, what they've added, what they've lost, but also what they should do in this year's NFL draft. Now, before we get into all of that, do me a favor and comment down below, what do you think the Giants will do with their first overall selection? Will they take a quarterback? Will they stay patient? Will they trade up? Will they trade back for more assets? I feel like they're in a really good position to do whatever they want. So let me know what you guys think they should do and what do you think they will do come NFL draft time. Hit the like button. Also, subscribe if you're new. It's free. Doesn't cost anything. And with that being said, let's get right into this video. Now, the 2 biggest things that the Giants lost this offseason was Saquon Barkley, who they spent a very high draft pick on a couple of years ago, and also Xavier McKinney left to go to the Green Bay Packers. Now, right away, we see 2 players who are going to fit their system and be plug-and-play guys for probably the next couple of seasons, but also it does one major thing. It keeps them competitive. Devin Singletary and Jalen Mills. No, these are not the future of the New York Giants, but at the very least, they are guys who can step in, be day 1 starters, and above average players from the jump. I love Jalen Mills, and I think Devin Singletary is coming off one of his best seasons over there in Houston. I think these are 2 really good additions. The Giants also added a couple of day 1 starting offensive linemen, which will help keep, Daniel Jones protected in the pocket if he is their quarterback going forward, or whoever the quarterback is. I think they did a good job surrounding them with some good passing or pass protectors on the O-line. But most importantly, what they did to their defense will be, levels and levels ahead of where they were last season. Right away, bringing in a guy like Brian Burns, who has been an elite pass rusher throughout the entirety of his career. And when you take a look at the Giants' defense from last season, they were terrible. Ranking number 26 in points allowed per game, number 27 in yards allowed per game, but also number 30 in rushing touchdowns allowed per game, number 29 in rush yards allowed per game, number 31 in rushing yards allowed per carry, but also, think about this, number 30 in QB sack percentage as well. Not only could they not stop the run, not only could they not stop rushing touchdowns, but they also couldn't get to the quarterback and create pressure. Whenever your defense can't do at least that, you are going to struggle. Now, the 2 most important, offseason additions, in my opinion, Brian Burns and Jordan Phillips. These two guys are going to come in here, be day one starters, and absolutely change what they're trying to do in terms of getting to the quarterback, but also being able to stuff the run as well. Over Brian Burns' 5-year career, over 246 tackles, 46 sacks, coming off a year with 12 and a half in 2022, and back-to-back seasons in 2020 and 2021 where he had 9 sacks as well. Again, right away, a guy who can really get to the quarterback at a good level. But also, 34 and a half run stuffs over his 5-year career as well. And then right away, you look at Jordan Phillips, the brand new starting defensive tackle, again, another bridge player, 31 years old, but 6'6", 341 pounds. A guy who actually is very productive in terms of getting to the quarterback. Back in 2019, the man had 9.5 sacks. Last season had about 2.5 sacks, but also is someone who can stuff the run at times as well. About 25 stuffs in his career, and also 24 pass deflections at the same time. A guy who can do it all, plug up the middle, and will be day one starters alongside Dexter Lawrence and Kayvon Thibodeau. And then you look at Bobby, Okereke, Micah McFadden, and then the DB room, I kind of like as well. Cordell Flott, Deontay Banks, Nick McLeod, Trey Hawkins, who kind of broke out a little bit in training camp last year and throughout the regular season. Darnay Holmes, who, Aaron Robinson. They do have some really good pieces here, but the additions that they made throughout the offseason are going to change everything. But not only that, they need to come out here and solidify what they need to do in the NFL draft. Now, in my opinion, I think the Giants should do whatever it takes to get a quarterback. They've been in a rut for a while. I feel like they're starting to feel that buyer's remorse of giving Daniel Jones that big contract. At the end of the day, I think he could be a good player still, Daniel Jones, but I also think they need to go out there and just secure a backup quarterback or someone that has potential to be a day one starter down the line. And to me, that doesn't mean you have to trade up to the top 3. Doesn't mean you have to trade up to the top 4, right? I think there are plenty of guys you can get number 6, including Michael Penix, right? I don't even mind a Bo Nix. But in my opinion, I think 2 of the biggest players that the Giants could be potentially in on, one being J.J. McCarthy. I think J.J. McCarthy is a really fine player, a guy that maybe won't be a day one starter, but someone who can develop behind Daniel Jones. But then you talk about a guy in Joe Milton, who I think Joe Milton would be insane over here in New York. Pair him up with this old teammate Jalen Hyatt, work behind Daniel Jones for a little bit and then take over the starting job in maybe 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks throughout the regular season. I think both those guys could be great options. And I don't even think both those players are top 4 picks. I think maybe J.J. McCarthy, someone maybe might trade up for him, but Joe Milton is a guy you can get later on in the draft and could be a steal for you going forward. Now, real quickly, I wanted to break down some film on J.J. McCarthy just to show you guys why he would actually be a really good fit here in New York, maybe behind Daniel Jones for a little bit. Now, right away, I would say the play styles are, relatively similar in terms of McCarthy's a guy who's very underrated with his legs, can get outside the pocket and make plays happen with his feet, but also is versatile, has really good arm strength, and can throw some really good dots, really fire lasers. The man has an arm, has that arm talent. Didn't showcase it too much in college just because that really wasn't their play style. But look at that, right over the 2 defenders. Beautiful in stride, in motion. And then you have guys like Jalen Hyatt, Darius Slay, and Wan'Dale Robinson. You bring in Isaiah McKenzie and Miles Boykin in free agency as well. I really do think J.J. McCarthy is a guy that could be really, really good fit here in New York. But look at this play here. Now, this is, one of his biggest plays in college. A lot of people were saying he was studying the film, knew that safety up top was going to turn around. Now, you guys tell me as I fix the screen here for a second, but he's going to fit it right in between these 2 DBs. You tell me, is this a bad throw or a good throw? Look how it's a dot, right? It's right where it needs to be. But at the end of the day, in the NFL, in my opinion anyway, that should be or could be an interception all day long. But, a lot of people are speculating and saying that, he studied, watched the film, made sure he knew at the end of the day that DB was going to turn around. I don't know how you study that. I don't know how you know that. But if that is true, amazing throw. At the end of the day, you look at, Daniel Jones and what he does offensively, can really get outside the pocket, make plays happen, can keep plays extended. I think J.J. McCarthy is very similar in that aspect. I think it might take him a little bit to get ready, get acclimated to the NFL lifestyle, the NFL speed. But I do love what he does. I love what he does. I think he's underrated, and I think the Giants would definitely be getting a guy here if they were able to get him that could be the future of this football team. And then I mentioned Joe Milton. Now, the reason I think Joe Milton will be a great fit here in New York is his play style, right? But also his chemistry already with Jalen Hyatt. Spent a lot of time with Jalen Hyatt at Tennessee, so you already talked about the built-in chemistry there. But also, he gives you the ability to just let Daniel Jones get another shot. One more shot. You gave him so much money. Let's not completely have the buyer's remorse, and let's see one more time. Does he have what it takes to be our quarterback? But another thing I love about this man, Joe Milton, is his fierce competitive nature. The man will do whatever it takes to win football games, whether that's getting outside the pocket, putting his shoulder down, and making a play happen with his legs. I think he is a guy that, Giants fans will slowly start to fall in love with. He's got great arm talent. He can make any NFL throw, right? Now, there is a point in time where Joe Milton, his arm is too powerful, right? There's a point in time when he throws some of his balls, they're too fast, right? Too powerful, and his wide receivers just can't catch him. But I also wanted to show you this play as well. So right away, we get a 2 deep safety look. You got 4 DBs to the outside boundaries here, and then you got 2 linebackers and 3 defensive linemen in a shotgun formation. Now, right away, Joe Milton is going to read these DBs. Is it man? Is it zone? It looks like it could be a little bit of a combination of both here, but primarily it looks like man coverage, right? You got 1 deep safety, you got some boundary corners, so right away is going to read this man right here. Jumps up into a hook curl instead of playing deep safety. Once he's not playing deep safety, and you see number 1 kind of tailing kind of this seam route here, we notice we have 1-on-1 to the outside. So boom, right away can read the defense at a fast rate. This is a matter of seconds, by the way, right? So boom, now that we have this 1-on-1 coverage, lob it up there. Let's see if we can put this on the money, and look at this throw, guys. This is amazing. And I'm telling you, Jalen Hyatt and him have that connection right away. Unbelievable placement of this football, a beautiful catch. But again, this is why I think Joe Milton can come in here and be, a player that may not be a day one starter, but someone who can make a big, a big splash. If Daniel Jones is not that guy, maybe Joe Milton has the potential to come out of nowhere and be your future quarterback. So I wouldn't mind taking him in the 4th, 5th, 6th round if he's going to give me potential future starter, right? So let me know what you guys think. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family. Do you think the Giants should go out here, draft a quarterback? Should they, trade back, trade up, stay patient, get the second best positional player, maybe get J.J. McCarthy if you trade up to number 4? Let me know what you guys think they should do. But overall, I think when you look at what the Giants have done, adding guys like Jermaine Illuminor, John Runyon, Aaron Stinney right away off the bat, the offensive line is better. They get more pass pro. You add Devin Singletary, a guy who can be a plug-and-play starter for at least a season as you try to develop your young guy. They might even draft a running back in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th round this season as well. There's other areas of improvement. The DB room maybe needs some improvement as well. But they are in a very intriguing spot where they can do whatever they want. They don't have to do one certain thing. They can do a bunch of different things. And in the NFL, that is very important. So we'll see what they do, man. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.